But some people, while like even yourself, you organize the meeting to get started. Other than that, how hard did you find it to get started? What did you have to organize in order to pick it up and go, we're podcasting now?
Yeah, it wasn't that much. I spoke to someone else who I knew had just started a podcast. So I had to organize a podcast host. So you can use, companies like Podbean or Libsyn or whatever you like. There's no paid promotions here,
Yeah.
although I should probably hit them up. And then basically how I was going to record it. So I started off using a little plug-in with Skype.
Yep.
Then I sort of got sick of that because I was having some technical issues, and I ended up working with Zencaster. And of course, you can do it with Zoom, such as we are at the moment. So that's not a really difficult thing. Setting up your iTunes account, getting it across to things like Spotify as well. And then it was just figuring out how I was going to do it, whether I was going to do it remote or in person, and getting the audio right.
Yep.
So I was a bit of a muso back in the day, so I had a condenser microphone, and I thought I can get this sort of sorted. But if you listen to some of my earlier podcasts and even look at some of the podcast reviews, that they say things like, great interview, but the audio quality is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, 1 star.
Uh-huh.
Since then, we've come along a little bit better with the audio quality. But look, there's not really that much to it. And you can Google, how do I start a podcast? And it'll point you in the right direction, or reach out to someone that you know has got one. And I'm sure that they'll be helpful. Actually, someone did that to me recently, and I sent them an email explaining the whole thing. So I've probably got it in my sent items, so I can flick it over.
Reach out to Mike. He's willing to help. You're a good man. I remember myself, I was researching how to do it for so long. And I'm like, do I want to do a podcast? Do I want to do a video series? And then I'm like, ¿por qué no los dos? Why don't I do both? So now I've got, in my office, I've got normally, if we're not around coronavirus or COVID-19, I've got a video camera set up in my office with little plugins for lapel mics, put the audio over the top of the video. It's a bit more work, but the way I see it is I'm trying to build like a big brand around it. And like you said, I am actually one of the people who started behind everyone else. So I've got to play catch up, Mike.
Yeah, right.
Because not all of us have got nearly 100 episodes.
Well, it's similar to when we sort of started the business. I was looking at some of our competitors and what they were doing when they started, and we couldn't afford to be that sort of sloppy when we began. With respect to them, the technology was a long way away from what it is today, but we had to come out of the gates pretty strong. Like, we had to have a really good product, really good service from day one. We didn't really have time to sort of learn things. And you certainly have come out the gates really, really well. I mean, your podcast, the video series, that little animated bull that I always talk about, it headbutts things out of the way. It's all quality gear. I mean, if you're looking for a role model in how to create a little media thing, don't look at me, look at Stefan.
And I had to spend money on that, which I didn't want to do because I wanted to bootstrap this. But hey, so spend money on a little microphone. You already had it. Being a muso obviously helps. I don't have musical bone in my body, which means I don't have a guitar or a microphone laying around. So I had to go and spend the money.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, and then the microphone that I've got, being a condenser microphone, it's very good at sort of picking up music from an acoustic guitar, but it's not actually perfect for a podcast because it picks up things all around the room. So if you're clicking a mouse or doing something like that, you can probably hear I'm clicking on it now. If you're shuffling something on the desk, it's no good because it's got a real broad band that it picks up. But the modern sort of podcasting microphones, they have a really tight area where it actually picks up the signal. So I certainly wouldn't recommend what I've got, but it's a $300 or $400 microphone just lying around. My sort of muso days are kind of behind me. So I thought,
you can't pick up the guitar and play a tune for us? Come on, mate.
I don't have one in the office. Maybe next time. Here's a red hot tip. If you go and listen to my podcast, and you're coming up very soon, so I'd encourage people that are fans of your show to listen to me turn the microphone in your direction. The music on the podcast is me playing a little bit of blues on the guitar, so you can go and listen to that. That's my little intro and outro. There you go. And that just shows how low rent the podcast was. Like I couldn't afford any stock music. So I thought, I don't know, the guitar's over there. I'll play a little tune and I've stuck with it. It's sort of, you know, a lot of people have got those high energy, you know, highly produced intros. I've just got me being a goose on the mate. And
better than me, mate. I had to find a tune online that no one will sue me for if I use it. So